What's up, guys? ATonOfBacon here with something we're gonna call Manime Rantz. So this is more of an unstructured way for us to talk about different types of subjects in the anime community and anything that's anime related. All this is just for fun, but also to share our opinions on what we think of some subjects. So as you may have probably noticed in the title of the video, we're going to be going over the top anime series to recommend to non-anime watchers. A little bit of background. When it comes to something that we really enjoy, it's not even anime, just in general, music, movies, video games, and books. When something is so great that you discover that you're a huge fan of, it's almost natural to just, tell someone about it. And this is how I feel when it comes to anime. I think anime is getting to the point where it's becoming a very respected medium, and it's actually starting to get the attention of a lot of people who don't watch anime. Maybe they'll see a certain logo, or maybe a certain scene from a series, or maybe their favorite movie or favorite music makes a reference to anime. And so I think nowadays anime is getting more accepted, just in general. Also, when it comes to anime, I feel like there's something for everyone because there are many genres within this medium. Horror, sci-fi, action, comedy. And so personally, I think everyone has something that they're gonna like when it comes to anime. And if they just don't like the visuals or like how anime looks, then that's their problem. So where am I going with this? Let's say you have friends who are, wanting to try out anime for once, which is great, because me, I'm blessed to have a bunch of friends who love anime just as much as I do, and we give each other recommendations all the time. We keep each other posted of what's airing and what's really good or what's something that you should watch somewhere down the line, and that's just the way we are. But for other people, they probably don't have those kind of friends around them. But let's say for some reason you're able to convince your friends to watch an anime series. What would you recommend? But before we get into this list, let's set some ground rules. And I'll explain why I'm setting these rules for this list right now. Rule number 1, the anime you are recommending needs to have a decent dub. Now, why do I say this? The thing is that I don't want to get into the whole argument of sub versus dub, but with us normal anime watchers, we are used to subtitles. One of the reasons why I stick to subs is because it's the first thing available to me, and I do not want to wait a year for an anime to get dubbed, even though there's such thing as broadcast dubbing, but that's a different story. The thing with dub is that I really want the individual who probably hasn't watched much anime to really focus on the visuals, see what anime is capable of doing, have them focus on the character interactions, the details, the music, and maybe they're not used to reading subtitles like we are. They're always going to be looking up and down and kind of like losing their place, maybe pausing and saying, oh, what's that translator note? That's what I'm kind of trying to prevent here. Then again, who knows, maybe you'll find someone that's okay with subs, but for the sake of the first half of this list, we need decent dubs. And I say decent as in they don't have to be the best, but a good one would really help. Rule number 2, the anime cannot have huge amounts of fan service or ecchi fan service and anything that's very uncomfortable. So with us, this one's a given. The thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to abolish the whole, if hentai is technically anime, then all anime is hentai. I mean, I'm trying to stop that once and for all for people who are coming into this world of anime. Fan service is something we're never gonna get rid of. But to them, I don't want to scare them away out of it. Fan service doesn't have to be completely non-existent in the anime, but it should be kept to a minimum at most. Rule number 3, the series cannot be more than 2 core, which is 24 to 26 episodes, give or take. So the reason why I mentioned this one is because I feel like more people will be more inclined to finish a series if they're about 2 or 3 episodes in, like if it's 12 episodes long. But I don't want to intimidate the viewer to watch 54 episodes or 100 episodes, 148, all of One Piece, because then they'll just think to themselves, I gotta watch all that and then you'll be happy with me? And then it'll become more like a chore to them, and I want them to enjoy this experience. I think being fair to them, if you're going to introduce them to anime, give them something small first, give them a taste of it, and then they'll start to fall in love with it. So by adhering to these 3 rules, let's get started with the first half of our list. So starting off in no particular order, because this isn't a top 10 list, first anime I would recommend, Attack on Titan. Now Attack on Titan is kind of a given. I mean, Attack on Titan is full of cliffhangers that'll get people to keep watching, and also rule number 2 isn't broken because there's almost absolutely no fan service in this entire anime. But Attack on Titan is a good starter. I actually know a lot of people who started with Attack on Titan and then branched off into other anime series because it's action-packed, a little mysterious, gets right to the point, and then the cliffhangers will keep them coming for more. Next one, Cowboy Bebop. Now, how can I not recommend probably one of the most Western influenced anime series right now? I mean, Bebop is a really good start when it comes to getting with someone started to watching an anime because Bebop is episodic and so it's a new story every time. Also, the music is really good, and with all the references that Bebop does with its episode names and all the things that they took from other movies and other classical films and Chinese films, I think there's some references that non-anime watchers will probably appreciate. They'll say, oh yeah, I know that reference. That was from a Bruce Lee movie. Yeah, this is cool. And so it's something for them that they'd probably really appreciate more, and thus incline them to keep watching to see if there are any other references that they might understand or might catch, thus inclining them to end up finishing the series towards the end. Also, if they're fans of sci-fi, I think they'd really enjoy the atmosphere of Bebop. Also, connected to this would be Samurai Champloo. So if this person says, you know, he wants something with more comedy or something with more of a hip-hop kind of feel, then Champloo would be sitting there right with them. Probably the only downfall with both these series is that they're both episodic, except at some points where they mention what their main goal is, and this could be a problem because there's no cliffhangers, but I would highly recommend both these series because they're just a lot of fun. Next one on the list, Psycho Pass. You see, Psycho Pass is really gritty and action-packed, and it could really hook a lot of people. And the setting is really good as well. I mean, the sci-fi world in there with the Sibyl system and how actual criminals are trying to capture other criminals, I think that's a concept a lot of people could really get attached to. Next up on the list, Baccano. Now, Baccano is one of those series where you really have to pay attention to details, and also I think a lot of people grow attached to this series because of the setting. It's in Chicago back in the times where the mafia was at large. Then again, they might be at large now. But it's really cool because Baccano is just so simple and all the characters are really likable. I mean, there's a lot of comedy, a lot of good action, and the story overall, when you reach the end, kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. The subject of gangsterism has always been something that's popular in movies and TV shows, so it's sure to hook somebody out there that's into that. Next up, Black Lagoon. Now, I will admit this, I haven't seen Black Lagoon yet, but from what my brother has told me, he says it's raw, it's gritty, and it's real. Because the thing with it is that I'm really appreciative of the dub from what I've seen in some clips. I mean, personally, I love profanity when it comes to dub in an anime, and I think it's really awesome. And I recommend Black Lagoon to anyone who has the notion or defense against anime, saying that, oh, anime is for children, how could you watch those cartoons? What are you, 8? And then when we show them Black Lagoon, I'm pretty sure that'll prove them wrong, because Black Lagoon is not geared towards a young audience. In fact, now that I think about it, I don't think any of the shows I've mentioned so far are geared towards a young audience. So yeah, make sure this person's at least 18. Next up, Tokyo Ghoul. Personally, I'd only recommend the first season of Tokyo Ghoul, but hey, if they're wanting to finish the next season of Tokyo Ghoul and they get hooked on that, then that's their problem. But Tokyo Ghoul is a really simple concept of a really horrific accident of a human being, which I really think more people are starting to pay attention nowadays. We like to see a story of someone becoming something that they don't want to be and still trying to blend into society. So I think that's going to be one idea that's sure to hook someone out there that doesn't watch anime normally. Plus the color and fight scenes are amazing. Jesus. So that takes care of the first half of this list. Now, the second half is going to be anime series that at least break one of the 3 rules that I mentioned. And the reason why I mention this is because let's say you get someone who doesn't watch much anime or none at all, and they're actually okay with subtitles, or they're actually okay with fan service, or they just have so much time on their hands and they don't care. They're willing to watch all of the 100 episodes that you offer to them. Here you go. Let's take a look at the rule breakers. And to start things off, let's go to 8-Bit Kevin on his thoughts of what he would recommend.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because it's everything that you would want in an anime. Action, romance, drama, tragedy. You should watch it.
Good choice, 8-Bit. Thanks a lot. For the rule breakers list, first one I would recommend, One Punch Man. Now, One Punch Man 2, as of this date, does not have a dub. Either way, I think One Punch Man is a really entertaining series. One Punch Man has really made its presence known to when it was airing during the fall season. I really think this is a great example of what anime is capable of. The animation with One Punch is just simply amazing, and I think it could really get people, losing their minds with how ridiculous the entire concept of the show is. What I also think people enjoy is that it's like a really subtle jab to superheroes in general. We like seeing awesome, powerful superheroes fight each other, and then having a superhero like One Punch Man walk in the picture and say, yeah, I'm actually the strongest, I could beat all these other heroes with one punch. Music, animation, and just overall epicness, I think, is what's gonna hook people to watch more anime with One Punch Man. Next on the list of rule breakers, Death Note. Now, Rule 3 is being broken here, and the thing is that Death Note is a pretty long series. It's a really good crime series that involves a lot of detective work when you throw magic into the picture. I think it'll get a lot of people thinking, also dreaming about what if something like the Death Note existed. And how do you say no to all those crazy death montages? I mean, that's gotta catch someone's attention. Even Taylor Swift's a fan of Death Note, so there you go. Maybe you should tell everyone else, hey, Taylor Swift watched this. Actually, don't tell them that, we might lose views. Next up is an anime that was fairly recent, Erased. Now, I really had to mention this series because it was really prominent during the winter season and it caught a lot of people's attention. The concept of Erased and the story itself could really spark a curiosity in many watchers, so I really think that's a good way to hook them. The way Erased is animated and directed is done really well, and there's a lot of detail that's put into the entire series. The mystery aspect is what can get a lot of people to keep watching because, well, I mean, come on, cliffhangers. Actually, cliffhangers should be involved with a lot of these series so we can get these non-anime watchers to keep coming back for more. And before we move on with this list, let's go to YoGimmeRice to see what he thinks he would recommend to someone else.
Dragon Ball Z.
Not surprised by that choice, YoGimmeRice, but still, good choice. And lastly for me, I'd recommend JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now at this moment, JoJo is still airing with part 4 going on, and just recently JoJo just got licensed by Viz Media. What makes me very excited is that I think now we're gonna get a whole dubbing of this series, and possibly, Blu-ray releases, which I'm for sure gonna cop on. But I think JoJo is yet another good series to recommend because of how many Western influences it has within the entire series. I mean, Araki is a huge fan of Western music, and I think that's awesome. And the story with JoJo itself isn't too crazy. Well, actually, it is crazy. That's why I want people to watch it. I can't really explain the whole plot of JoJo to people because there's just so much that happens, I can't explain it. It's one of those series where you have to get them to watch it if they want to understand why it's so great. And all the characters are really likable. I think anyone can relate to any JoJo character. Alright, so we are out of time. Hope you guys enjoyed this list. What anime series would you recommend to non-anime watchers? Leave a comment in the description below. Keep watching, guys. Be safe out there, stay gold, and stay tuned for more rants.